Mr. Chairman, for holding this markup today. Thank you for the honor of working with you on this important legislation, and thank you for your many kindnesses to me in the work we've been doing on the Surface Transportation Authorization Act of 2009. This 6-year authorization bill will transform the state of our federal surface transportation program. I want to commend Chairman Oberstar for his work on this bill. The chairman has been waiting more than 40 years to write this piece of legislation, 32 years as a member of Congress and more than 10 years as a congressional staffer. Our surface transportation programs are at a real crossroads, as everyone knows. And this bill represents Chairman Oberstar's vision for what these programs should look like in the future. I've said before, I don't believe any other member of Congress knows these programs as well as Chairman Oberstar, and I'm honored to have worked with him and Ranking Member Mike on this bill. This bill takes several steps to transform our nation's transportation system so that it meets national objectives. Performance measures have been incorporated into all of the surface transportation programs to ensure that projects and activities funded through this bill will help us meet very specific goals. Grant recipients will now have to show how they will use the funding they receive to reduce congestion, improve highway safety, and increase access to transit services. New programs are created in this bill to eliminate freight bottlenecks and relieve congestion in urban areas. Existing highway and transit programs are restructured so the states and transit agencies are required to keep their highways and transit systems in a state of good repair. And we have rewritten the highway safety programs to help us address the more than 40,000 deaths that occur on our nation's highways every year. Certainly the main and most serious problem that we deal with in this committee. But this bill is not perfect. Since the bill was released to the public on Monday afternoon, we have received requests for more than 30 amendments. This shows that we still have a lot of work to do before we mark up this bill in full committee. Some members are concerned that we've not done enough to streamline the process by which highway and transit projects are approved and constructed. And this is a main concern of mine because I don't believe the bill has provisions strong enough and certain enough to really speed these projects up to the extent that we need to do so. Others are concerned that the bill focuses too much on the very large cities at the expense of medium-sized cities, smaller towns, and rural areas. Mr. Chairman, I know we are scheduled to mark this bill up in full committee at the end of July, but it looks like we have a lot of issues to address between now and then. But I know that you will work with us on the minority side in the cordial way that you've done thus far, and I yield back the balance of my time.